What's going on, YouTube? It's me, Ben, again. Today, you guys may notice I sound a bit different. It's because I got my expander off. Now, basically what an expander is, it's basically a hunk of metal at the top of your mouth, and it widens out like the top part of your mouth. And I probably sound a lot more normal. I mean, I don't really know if I sound more normal, but I feel like it, so I guess I'll watch some previous videos with my expander now and see how much of a change there is. So anyways, guys, today we are going to be talking about why music isn't as special as it once was, and my opinions on production of music. Now, right now, the main genre of music for kids anyways is hip-hop, or rap music, whatever you like to call it. And back in the 90s and 80s, rock music was dominant as what most kids liked. You don't see that many kids today that like classic rock music. Well, you do, but not as much as you used to. And one of the reasons I think music was so special is because it was so hard to make. Because writing a guitar riff isn't easy. You can know as many chords as you want, but you have to have some sort of talent to think of a pattern that sounds good with the chords. And you need guitar, bass, drum, maybe even a piano in there. And that's how things used to be, and making a song took a while. And nowadays, now hip-hop is dominant, and I feel like hip-hop is so much easier to make because literally anyone can download an app on their phone and they can make a beat and they can rap over it. I'm not saying it's a good beat, but you can make music so much more easily than you could before. Making a rap album versus making a rock album, I feel like it'd just be so much harder to make a hip-hop album. I mean, I'm kind of out of it today. I feel like it'd be so much harder to make a rock album because of all those components that go into it. And when you make a hip-hop album, it's just so much easier to make. Now, personally, I have nothing against hip-hop. I like the genre a lot. Some of my favorite artists are hip-hop artists. But those are the artists that aren't lazy, I would say, in hip-hop. Let me think of an example of a lazy artist in hip-hop. Just any artist that use the most minimalist drum machine beat. You get the hi-hats and the claps and the snares. It's just those components, hi-hats, claps, snares. It's the most basic way to make a beat. But I like artists that don't just use a drum machine to make their beat. I like artists that will incorporate different instruments or incorporate things that you won't even think of incorporating in music. I love it when there's piano in hip-hop music because it is harder to play the piano than it is to play on your phone with a drum machine app. It's so much harder to use a piano. And yes, you can get piano apps, but playing a piano on your phone is just as hard as playing a piano in real life because you can't just make you can't really make a beat with a piano. You usually make a beat with drums. But also there's bass and stuff, so also the bass line is really important. If there's just big splurts of bass just in a certain pattern, just the most generic bass, I don't like that. I like a bass that's more of a different sort of sound. And the song North North, if you don't know what song, it's by Vince Staples. It's a pretty good song. The opening riff, or that whole riff, it's a bass line, and it's a great bass line because it's not generic. It's not just pumping in a certain pattern. It's just I really like it. Sorry if this video wasn't that enjoyable. I'm still trying to get back on track with things. But anyways, guys, if you did go on to enjoy the video, please remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.